Hey guys, Julian here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make liquid drum and bass. Everything you just heard in the intro, this full template, the samples, the MIDI, the presets, and the project file are available at the top of the description. Definitely go check that out. It really helps support me. Plus, it's the best way that you can take your tracks to the next level today. This is something you can do right now that'll really help you make your best music. You can also check out my lessons and track finishing down there as well. Link is at the top of the description. Let's dive into the video. Alright, so we're at 175 BPM. The first thing we have going on here are these basses. So here's the MIDI. It's following the chord progression, which is D major, B minor, F sharp minor, and then E major. And then up here, this is just an octave of F sharp and E. So it's a pretty simple bass line. It just follows the chords, and then there's three layers. We have the sub, which is this operator, FM sub. You can see we got a square wave and a saw wave and some sine waves as well. I actually believe there's no FM. Yeah, there's no FM happening. But then I'm low passing that. So you're getting this super harmonically rich waveform, and then you low pass it, and then it makes it not so in your face. I also have a little LFO on the volume going dun, dun, dun. And then this bass cut to cut out the stuff that you don't hear that makes the mix muddy. We have this Reese. Simple Reese, just two saws, detune, low pass filter, unison, high pass to get rid of the sub, and then bass mono. And then we have this like neuro kind of bass. So a lot of you guys have been asking me to go over neuro basses again. So this is two layers. We got operator. This FM thing, you can see a sine wave being FM'd with the square wave, which is detuned, and then notch filter and an LFO on that filter. Then we have this wavetable, which is like this Reese with a saw wave and a triangle. And then I have a bunch of unison, and this has got a low pass with a little LFO on it. Then you put those two together, and then it's going into this multi-band distortion. We got the highs, the mids, and then the lows. Then we have, and those are all just going through different amps, and then like kind of blended with the dry wet. Then we have this EQ, which is cutting out the lows and the highs. So here's without that. And see, this just kind of makes it fade around in the track, so you kind of get this nice movement underneath everything. And it's not just like in your face the whole time. And then we have, so you can see there's some automation on that low pass on the frequency. And then the last thing on here is just a bit of utility and this saturator with the wave shaper. You can see that's being blended. So those are the basses. On the group, we just have another bass cut of these frequencies that you wouldn't really hear. They can mess up your mastering. The next thing we have is the kick and snare. So we're using two layers for each of these. So for the snare, it's this one like kind of rim shot, which I cut this from this Rex file drum break. And then you can see I shortened it, pitched it down, and filtered it. And then we have this one, which is more of like a so when you put those together, you get this really full punchy snare. And that's even clipping a little bit going into the mastering stuff. That's fine. I found that tends to make it work a bit better with drum and bass. And then with the kick, it's kind of the same deal. We got one low kick, right? We're taking just the lows, and then one high kick. Which, this is also cut out of a drum break. So when you're doing these layers for the drums, a lot of times chopping drums out of breaks and literally just putting them into the sampler like this or into the simpler, it can be a great way to do this because it'll layer really well with that other thing. And you'll get one really full kick. And you can see with the kicks and snares, it's not a whole lot of extra processing. It's really just utility to make it mono. And that's it. Then we have this percussion. So this is all the background stuff. We have a shaker. This is like this longer shaker that I just took a little bit of, so it's kind of more like rapid fire. It gives it a better groove. We have these hi-hats on top. So when I was checking like a lot of these tracks and studying for this video, I was finding like, you know, you think you're hearing just this, but it's actually this with the hi-hat on top. See, when I turn off that hi-hat, it's really subtle, but it's just not quite as powerful. So it's important to have that. We have this break, which I actually chopped up into the drum rack here. And what I'm doing is I just picked a few hits from it. It's like all these different slices of the whole break, and I just took a few. And then we got this one. Kind of more like a bright, like high-end. You can hear it's got some nice, like gliding high-end stuff, which if you listen to the whole mix, you'll hear it. That going into the second snare. And then on the group of all that percussion, so we actually do have a bit of processing on this. This is why I like to treat this separately from the kick and the snare. We got a bit of drum bus, which is being blended, but it's pretty heavy. You're just not hearing that much of it. Also, this heavy compression, but again, you're not hearing very much of it. It just kind of, those like kind of glue it together and just make it a bit fatter. We have a high pass, and then we have this being sidechained to the kick a little bit. So then we have the piano. So this is the chord progression. It's these kind of chords, you know, where they're actually just basic like major and minor triads. Again, we're in D major. It starts with a D major chord, but then we're putting those thirds in the middle up an octave. Same thing here. Here I did 2 octaves, you know, so it's just playing with that and then having that melody note there. Over there follows the bass line. For the sound, this is made with this piano sample actually. Just bringing it into Simboard. This is going to give you kind of a cool sound. You know, it's like kind of this surreal piano. We've got this delay on here with a really fast modulation. Like that, but it's just like not that much. It adds a nice ambiance. We got a bit of reverb as well. High pass. And then this EQ kind of cutting out there because it was getting in the way of the bass. Because this had a lot of like boomy frequencies. Then we have this pad. So you can hear this is kind of like a counter melody to that chord progression. And this is an F sharp minor chord, A major, B minor, and then back down to A major. It's simple, but it's just these chords that play really nicely and add a lot of contrast. And also having this be a bit of a deeper sound with this analog here where it's just 2 saw waves, you know, and it's low pass and just like some unison chorus, like it's just a very chill background sound, but it fits very nicely. And it helps keep this like more relaxed atmosphere. So then the last group down here are kind of like these background sounds. We got some vocals and this little chord stab sound design. So the vocals, it's 2 different vocals. It's this one, which is just like a chop, and then, you know, I put it in key. And then same thing with this. This was like this longer thing, and then you can see I just grabbed a few little pieces from it and made it do that. You know, very like syncopated with the drum and bass pattern. And then on the group there is where all the processing is happening. It's not on any of these individually. So I just have like a bunch of reverb because this is meant to be like a very background, like ambient sort of thing. We got a high pass filter, and then we have this auto pan, which is doing this like inverted saw wave, and then it's half notes. So you're getting a nice like pulse with that. You can hear it goes well against the piano. And then the chord stab down here. So I'm pretty sure that's playing an F sharp minor. And this is like some pretty cool sound design. What we're doing is I have this chord stab sample, and then I'm looping it. So that's how you're getting that like There's a low pass filter also being opened on that, as you can see. We have this vocoder, so here's without it. With it, it's subtle, but it just adds kind of a cool texture. A bunch of reverb, a little bit of redux, like not that much at all. And then some erosion, and then a high pass filter. And that's gonna be it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe, and let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Like I said in the beginning, you can get this full project file, samples, MIDI, presets. The entire template is available right at the top of the description on my website. Definitely don't miss out, guys. It's a great template. It's something that'll really help you take your tracks to the next level. You know, I wish this was out there when I was trying to learn how to make drum and bass back in the day. Would have saved me a lot of time and helped me make better tracks. That's what it's all about, giving you guys an accessible resource to make the best tracks of your life. Links at the top of the description. Thanks so much for the support, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video.